Hey guys, Phil here at Woods Tree Farm. I was so excited last video. I got in some wood that I purchased that I'm reselling, and I was all excited about that because I was getting wood at $200 a cord, which isn't a terrible price, and I was able to turn that around and sell it at the rates that I sell it at. It can be close to $600 a cord when I sell it in small loads. And anyway, a few words of warning. If you're considering reselling wood that you get from somebody else, I'm going to share with you a couple things that have not worked out great, and I'm going to share those with you in today's video, so stick around, let's have a little fun. Well, thanks for stopping by the channel. If this is your first time here, we're a relatively new Christmas tree farm. Across the pond over there, we've got a whole bunch of baby Christmas trees, and over the next 4 or 5 years or so, we'll be able to start harvesting those and open ourselves up as a cut-your-own tree farm. But in the meantime, we do a bunch of other things around here to try to make a little bit of money. We had a tree lot with pre-cut trees set up at Christmas time. We do sunflowers in the summer, and now we're selling a little bit of firewood. So today we're actually opening up because we're offering Christmas tree recycling for people. They can come and drop their trees off here, and we're doing a little open house. So we're going to have the fire pit going, we're going to have cider, hot chocolate, and that kind of stuff. After I get the fire going over there, I will tell you a little bit more about this firewood that I picked up that I'm reselling. Nothing better than a dry, dead cedar tree for starting a fire. So a few words of warning if you're going to try to resell firewood here. This is a pile that I have left from the first cord I bought. This is stuff that's all very, very green. You can just tell when you pick it up. It's very heavy, and you know, if you hit pieces of wood together, if you hit dry pieces of wood together, it sounds hollow. It sounds like a baseball bat. But green wood just makes a soft thud, and you know, that's what all this stuff's doing. So anyway, I've got it stacked here. So there's, you know, not a huge amount of green wood out of that first load, but there was a considerable amount. And anyway, this kind of just all lumps up with a primary word of warning is know what you're buying. And I made an assumption that I was getting some really good quality firewood, and I did not. There's all this green stuff, there's a bunch of random lengths, and then over here I've got kind of one of my two junk piles. There's some rotten wood and some odd cuts, and you know, you look at this one right here, now that thing's not even 10 inches long, and it's rotten to boot. So there's plenty wrong with that. And then I pitched more stuff over here. About half of that came from this load, the other half is from stuff that I've split. And when I've got odd cuts that I split, you know, like that piece right there, I pitch it off the side, and that's just what we use to burn, either at our own house or in our fire pit. So anyway, there's been plenty that I had to pitch off the side just because the cut wasn't as nice and clean as I'd like. You can see what I split and what I stack over here. It's lots of very nice looking uniform pieces. You know, here's a nice piece of oak, and you know, that's what I tend to focus on. Plus, a bit of the wood that I sell is going to be bundled, so I want nice uniform pieces so they package well. And anyway, I didn't get a lot of nice uniform pieces in that other load. So when I had to package some up for bundles, I ended up with kind of having to sort through it, pull out the best wood. All of it was too long, and then I had to chop the ends off of a bunch of pieces of wood. So that's what's sitting over here, is a bunch of ends. So that was all in the first cord that I got from these folks, and it was delivered in the dark. You saw my last video was filmed at night, and as I started to sort through it that night, it didn't look too bad other than the long pieces. That was the only thing that I thought was wrong. But like I said, there's a lot of green wood. The next day they delivered me a second load, and I wasn't here. They left it up at the front of the property on the other side of the gate, and as I started to root through it, we really got their seconds. There's a whole bucket there of stuff that's practically unburnable. It's rotten, or it's green. There's big chunks of branches, and you know, I'm just going to throw this in my trash pile in the waste because it's doing me completely no good. And I didn't even go through the whole cord yet. I probably only went through half of it. So for the second half, I'll probably fill up that bucket again if I had to guess, because the other half of the pile doesn't look any better. This is what's left of the second cord that I got brought in. A little bit there, a little bit there. This is already what I've sorted through and is green. That's all the heavy stuff. That is a pile of trash, mostly rotten stuff. This was the other thing I wanted to tell you, but it rolls under the same theme of know what you're buying. You can see there's some cedar in there, which is really pretty wood, and it smells great when it's burning, but I thought I was getting all hardwood, and the rate that I paid, I thought I was getting all hardwood. So, bit of a disappointment there. So all in all, this load here was a bit of a disappointment. I definitely expected much better quality for what I was paying. And for what it's worth, I did send a text message to the guy that I bought it from. He's got a legitimate tree company and, you know, it's been in business for a while. And I thought, you know, a business like that cared about their reputation. And anyway, sent him a text message. I also tried to call. I haven't gotten any response back yet. So that gives me the impression that he just simply doesn't care that he delivered me low quality wood. So anyway, for what that's worth, you know, just not going to do business with that guy again. I feel like it's his loss, not mine. And in the meantime, I did actually reach out to another tree guy, and it happens to be the same tree guy who we've partnered up with to do our Christmas tree recycling. He's going to bring his chipper over and just throw the chips over on our existing mulch pile, which is right behind me if I spin around. Big old wood chip pile there. And anyway, he is much more professional in the way that he carries himself, and he has a wood yard about maybe 1.5 miles away, not far at all. And he's got piles and piles and piles of logs, and he actually has a wood processor as well, firewood processor, that he hasn't set up yet. So long story, he just moved to this property. He isn't fully set up there. He used to be considerably farther away. Once he's fully set up over here, he's going to have a big Cord King processor, and we'll be able to buy processed wood off of him. And he also has said he'll deliver us blocks of wood as needed. So really good connection there. I've been over to his property. We've met, we've talked, and he actually has a pile of blocks over there that he said I could go ahead and pick from myself. And I already did one small load of that already. I split into those. They aren't fully seasoned yet though, so I'm not going to be selling them this year as unseasoned, ready to burn wood. But if anybody wants to buy unseasoned wood from me, then I am going to do that. So anyway, that is my story, and I've mentioned now for a few videos that I'm really trying to build this firewood business. Part of that reason is just there aren't that many folks in the area that are reliable that are selling firewood, and I know this is late season and inventories are getting low. But next year, I'm hoping to be a lot better prepared and be able to capitalize on the market that we have here. There was one other thing I wanted to show you here while I got your attention. I've made several mentions now of our firewood business, and we get wood chips dropped off from a couple different tree companies here, and those are all like the nice, well composted chips down there. We're going to start selling that this spring, and we started getting some wood chip deliveries that included some wood, and we've harvested a bit of that. I did that I think maybe 2 or 3 videos ago. I showed you some of that I took out of the wood chip pile. Well, yesterday I was here. There were actually 4 piles of wood chips that were delivered in the past week and a half or so, and I went ahead and pushed them all over with the tractor. It was raining, so I didn't get the camera out. But this was all the wood that I ended up getting out of those wood chip piles. So it's quite a bit here. Nice little size, nice little stack of wood. Some of it is pine. Some of it is some wood that I don't even know. And some of it's oak and some maple. So I'll have to kind of sort through that. Some of it's just going to be fire pit wood or waste wood for us. And some of it's actually going to be marketable firewood. So anyway, I'll have to get sawing on that in a little bit. So if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure you hit subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, and I hope to share some more of our firewood business with you here in the coming weeks and months as we continue to try to build this thing from the ground up. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.